I've been on parole for 32 years, and this is my first time next month to vote. 32 years is a long time because of incarceration and being on parole. Okay, our next speaker, okay, also this time is on parole, was on parole. Larry White.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Love you, Mr. White.
I just want to bring to your attention that the right to vote for parolees is really part of the whole re-entry effort. Right now, we have a number of people who are coming home out of prisons. How we receive back into the prison to have a great deal to do with public safety. The right to vote gives a person, first of all, to identify with his community. All right? He does this in terms of how to improve sanitation, how to improve mail delivery, how to improve all of those things that affect the community and himself. This has gotten through the vote. Vote is power. So a person coming home from prison needs to know that he's part of a power struggle in his own community, all right, to uplift the community. It makes them feel not only that they're a member of the community, it makes them a functional element of that community. Thank you.
No more Jim Crow, let us vote. No more Jim Crow, let us vote. Our next speaker, Erica Wood, Deputy Director of the Democracy Program at the Brandon Center of Justice and co-author of Report on the Jim Crow History of Southern Disenfranchisement in New York.
All right.
Good morning. I want to thank NICAN and Vocal for bringing us all together today. It's so great to see so many of our friends and allies from the community here and our champions from the legislature and from the city council. My name is Erica Wood. This year we released this report called Jim Crow in New York. People don't know this. People think Jim Crow lived down south. Truth is, he made his home right here in New York State. We went to the Historical Society, we went to the libraries up in Albany, and we researched and we read the constitutional conventions and we read what the delegates said when they passed this law, and the quotes are in our report. You have to read it. The truth is, New York had some of the most discriminatory voting laws in the country. Our state constitution had at one time the only property requirement for African Americans to vote in the entire country. That means in New York State, African Americans and only African Americans had to own property in order to be able to vote in our state. That ain't right. The only reason that took that out of the Constitution was because the 15th Amendment was passed, because the federal government said blacks have the right to vote in our country, regardless of past servitude, right? 15th Amendment was passed. That's the only reason New York took that provision out. And you know what they did when they took that provision out of the Constitution? They put this one in. At that very time, they put this provision in, the criminal disenfranchisement provision, to eliminate and not allow people who were in prison and jails and people who came out of prison to vote.
That ain't right.
And when they passed it, that ain't right. And when they passed it, you read what they said. They said, look to your arms and your penitentiaries and see who's there. They looked at how many people who were in prison were black and Latino, and then they passed this provision specifically to disenfranchise them. That is the same provision that is in our Constitution today. The very same one that they put in place 200 years ago. And it has its intended effects. 80% of those disenfranchised under this law, 80% are black and Latino in New York State. It is time to move away from this. We call on the Governor Patterson, we call on candidate Cuomo, we call on candidate Palladino to change this law and to get rid of Jim Crow in New York. Thank you very much.
No more Jim Crow, let us go. No more Jim Crow.
Let us go. Let us go.
Okay, our next speaker, Tracy Gardner, the Director of State Policy for a Legal Action Center.
Good morning, good afternoon. Many of you know my organization, Legal Action Center, because we work on cleaning up rap sheets, and our organization is founded on the idea of second chance. What is more American than mama apple pie and getting a second chance? All right? This policy, we're not clueless. We know it is designed to keep brown and black people from exercising their power to make decisions. When you come home, if you can pay taxes, you need to be able to vote.